Good evening, drag racing fan, live between the slicks as I'm advertising the most diverse drag racing talk show out there right now. Diverse definitely tonight. We're going to talk a little NHRA Pro Mod action with Mike Janis Jr. and Nick Kellogg with a special guest also that I've already seen. A little no prep racing. Actually, he's the first no prep guy I've been able to have on the show, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Because drag racing, no matter what form it is, 13, 20, 1,000 foot, 10th mile, you ever seen that? I have. Gassers, nitro, alky, whatever. It is all good. If it's just downhill, I'll watch it and enjoy it too. Folks, thank you for watching. Come on in, hit the like button, hit the share button, and look, after this first break for Power Built Tools, Mike Janis Jr. is live on the show, and we'll talk some NHRA Pro Mod. Let's say thank you to a sponsor. Power Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Power Built Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase. All right, Mike, what do you think? 15% off on Power Built Tools. I mean, that's a pretty good deal for tools, man.
Sign me up. Let's do it.
All right, sign Mike up. Sign Mike up. Well, look, Mike, it is a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. You, the crew chief for your old pops there, Mike Janis himself, Jansen Racing Engines, Mike Janis Superchargers, Jansen Power Sports. Is there any other Jan that I need to mention along the lines? Or is that about covered it, man?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Awesome.
Try to take the whole town down.
Definitely. There you go. The whole town down. So, look, I want to kick it off. We're going to dive right in. The elephant in the room, the gorilla now in the class, the buzz that everybody is talking about is that, well, the Pro Mod guys are going to have to be a little bit busier in that car in 2021. So talk to me, your opinion first on the rule change of doing the old back and forth in the door slammer.
I mean, like anything, the first thing would have been nice if somebody talks to you about it before just going and doing it. Zero communication, had no idea what was going on until it actually happened. So, stuff like that that's where it hits you in the gut. Just don't agree with stuff like that. I think everybody should talk about rule changes of any sort. Doesn't matter what it is. So we were definitely caught off guard, had no inclination of it at all. It's going to be pretty wild. You're going to see a lot of guys that can't do it. Even the guys that can do it are going to stumble. So it's going to make for some different, definitely more exciting and competitive racing. I would say for sure.
I think it will definitely make for more competitive racing. Not that Pro Mod isn't competitive. It is. But it's going to do the proverbial action of separating the men from the boys. And I don't know, I think someone like your dad, the drivers who have been doing it for a while, I think they're going to have a bit of acceleration per se at the first part of the year because, I imagine he remembers doing it by hand and probably even off the clutch.
Yeah, it's been since 2010, I think it was, since the last time we did it. Again, it's one of those rules when it comes out. I'm all for it. I think anything you can do to put the driver back in it is great. But when they did it, why not take advantage of it? So we're trying to make perfect runs. It's not like it was back in the early 2000s when the cars are going 16s and 20s. You got to realize we're going 560s, 70s at 255 plus miles an hour. So there's a lot going on in these cars that weren't going on back then. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a learning curve for a lot of people. It's to the point now where these cars are basically like a pro stock. We know how fast they're gonna go before they get out there and run. We know if we miss the shift, if we shift too high, we shift too low, what they're gonna do. So like I said, it's going to be. I think you're going to see a lot of parts laying on the racetrack, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, Pro Mod will become that much more exciting, that much more, well, unpredictable. Pro Mod definitely is unpredictable. This year at Indy, U.S. Nationals, it kind of reminded me of the event in Kansas from last year. It looked like it was going to be that crash fest with two rollovers and some parts hurt. But nonetheless, I've got to say, the year that Mike Janis Racing had, not a bad year. Talk to me about 2020 overall through the pandemic and coming out on the other end with a decent points finish.
Yeah, I mean, it was, believe it or not, I mean, we had a really great year. To even be able to race in 2020, I mean, that was a blessing in itself. So that was the first thing on the table. So that was a great deal. Our goal we set out every year is to be able to, being with Vegas, the last race of the year, and being 40 hours from home, our goal is to be able to give ourselves a chance to win the championship going out there. And we did that. There was 4 of us between us, Belushi, Stevie Fast, and Brandon Snyder, who could all won the championship. So, we gave ourselves, we put ourselves in that chance to be able to win the championship. We were leading the points for a little bit. And, we struggled the last little bit of stretch. I mean, struggle meaning we just didn't, we were going down the track. We just didn't perform as well as I thought we should have. But all in all, it was a really great year. I think we've been in the top 5 for like 15, 18 years in a row now. The last 3 years have been 1st, 3rd, and 4th. So we're running with the top cars in the country, and we couldn't be more excited to finish again in a strong spot.
Now, I do not in any way want to age your dad, but I want to ask, privately behind the scenes, does Pops mention about getting out of the car at all? Is it even on his mind, or does he sense that he's got plenty of more years to be in that door car and get it down the drag strip?
Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty wound up already. He's already talking about next year, and nothing. He's pretty wound up. He just wants to drive. He ended up actually just got involved in iRacing and bought a NASCAR simulator. So that's set up in the showroom right now. They're working on setting that up so he can come down and race whenever he wants to, and just keep in rhythm. So it's I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Man, I have a buddy of mine. We're going to be building my brand new PC over Christmas break. I'm going to build a sim rig, and Lou Santiago of Garage Insider TV is going to help me. So I'm looking forward to getting into the iRacing and get beyond just the PlayStation 4 and the racing sim world, and get some action. And man, your dad's not necessarily, some young guy, and he's getting into the iRacing. That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, he already, like I said, it's already on the credit card bill, and we didn't even get the thing yet. So it's, like I said, it's in a showroom. It's got actuators to throw them all around, enough TV screens for a Regal movie theater, and so there's enough going on. I don't know what he's thinking, but hey, if it keeps him young, let him do it.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm looking forward to, because look, that's going to make, I know Ron is heavily into iRacing, Caps. I know Cruz Petragon is heavily into iRacing. Your dad's going to be in it now. I'm going to be in it eventually. We're going to have to create a drag racing room and go left and right and go round and round, and all the drag racers can act like they know what they're doing.
There you go.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
He went circles once before, and long time ago. So.
Very cool. Very cool. Look, I do want to give a shout out real quick. Heather Graney. Look, tell Jack, the whole gang, hello from Monday Morning Racer. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we got a lot of upstate and Western New Yorkers watching tonight, man. So the fans have come out in drove. You even got some folks chiming in saying, "Hey, Junior, looking good."
Yeah, best racers in the country right here in Western New York. Hands down.
I tell you what.
I'll put them against anybody, any of them. From the pros to the bracket racers, put them against anybody.
There are
get the job done.
Stellar racers out of that region of the United States. When I moved up there 6 years ago, and now not being there, coming out of the Southeast, I was surprised how rich motorsports really is. I mean, there's tractor pulling, there is the drag racing, there is the modifieds. You have like Oswego. They have like the only place where the super modifieds race. I know there's a few other places, but like it's this distinct creation of the Northeast, the big block modifieds on dirt. So a very, very rich racing tradition. And I mean, your family, man, has been doing the motorsports thing for a long time. How many years is it? How deep does it go?
62 years this year. So 62. We're celebrating our 63rd anniversary next year. So it's it's exciting for sure.
Definitely exciting. And talk to me about the supercharger business. How are things going? You know, I mean, look, I know it's well beyond drag racing for Mike Janis Superchargers. It's into the boat world. It's into the tractor pulling world. And some motorsports like boats and tractor pulling, they didn't get the year that drag racing got. So how was it through 2020 in the supercharger side of things? And what does it look like right now? Because a lot of people freshened up things over the pandemic. Are y'all seeing that whiplash of being busy during the first shutdown to now off season? It's a little bit slower. How are things going?
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, we've been very fortunate. We've been wide open since March when the whole pandemic hit, and it really hasn't stopped. Power sports, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, that's been really busy. Haven't been able to keep any inventory in stock. You know, people are going on vacation, so they're spending money on other things. Big thing we had was, we were fortunate enough to have a nice race season all around. At least a 6-month race season where people, needed freshen ups again. And, still, we're really busy right now. I mean, we have enough work probably for the next 6, 7, 8 months. So we're doing, we've been very blessed. I was really nervous, when this all started. I'm thinking, we're going to feel it in 2021, end of 2020, going into 21, we're not going to have no work. So, I mean, the shop's full right now. A lot of new projects we're working on, a lot of NHRA, PDRA, a lot of marine stuff, hot rodding stuff, a lot of new tractor pulling stuff. So we have our hands in a little bit of everything right now, and very blessed to have such awesome customers and guys that want to move forward with the programs.
Stellar, man. Stellar. Well, look, we're going to come right back here with Mike Janis, Junior Crew Chief for Mike Janis Racing, right after this word from a local Western New Yorker there on Grand Island, Grant Farmer, and his company, fuelinjectorservices.com.
Fuelinjectorservices.com. It's essential that your fuel injectors perform at their peak, whether you're in your daily driver or high horsepower race machine, for you to get the most out of your vehicle. At fuelinjectorservices.com, we maintain precision fuel injectors with cleaning and flow testing, as well as providing the sale of genuine brand name injectors. It can all be done at fuelinjectorservices.com, the home of Flowzilla, one of the largest injector test benches in the country. Check out fuelinjectorservices.com. Veteran owned, racer tested, aerospace refined.
I love that Godzilla sound every time I play that commercial.
Scared me.
I just love it. I just love it. You Godzilla fan? Do you enjoy Godzilla, Mike? Are you into that? Monster movies?
I'm not really into it, no.
Oh man, not really into it. Not really. So what are you into? What are the favorite movies, man? What's something like, okay, I'm going to watch this, and this is what I really like. Like I just got into the John Wick series. I went out and saw the first one and bought all the others and can't wait for 4 now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get really too much time to watch TV other than with the kids. Like right before I got on here, we were watching Home Alone. So nothing too fancy. So I kind of like the old school movies from when I was growing up. Reliving them with my children.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I hope one day to be able to live out Disney movies once again with some kids. But if not, I'll just live them out whenever I decide, and I don't have to have kids. So there we go. Devin McLaren says tractor pulling is fun with a Hemi and a Mike Janis blower. So yeah, we got some tractor pullers in here tonight. That's pretty cool, man. Definitely.
Devin knows.
Yes. Maybe before long, I need to start a tractor pulling show and call it Between the Tractor Tires or something. I don't know. And we'll continue it on. So last year, the NHRA made a lot of rule changes, and that hit the pocketbook of the racers. This new rule change with having to manually shift, what is the estimated cost going to be? What is the tab to the teams already with the NHRA coming out and saying, you got to change your transmission?
I mean, we're only talking maybe $100 here. Okay, that's the initial, that's the good part, $100. But if somebody goes out there and decides instead of shifting at 9,000, they're going to shift at 10.5. Well, you just lost 35,000 in a motor. So that's what we're up against. Like I said, there's no investment other than $100 and some switches and buttons and things like that. But I don't know I really don't know what's gonna happen. These cars are very sensitive. We're not going to be making as good a run as we were before if we're missing shifts. So it's like I said, it's one thing. Like we go out there and let's just use the example. First round we run 575. Well, now it's time to run second round and say we know the car is going to go 75 or 76 the next round based on if the weather changed in that. Now we don't know that now. I mean, it might go 78, 79, 80, depending if we hit the shift right or not. So, like I said, you're not really going to know what everyone's going to run every run now, which I guess is kind of a little more intriguing. But like I said, there's so much going on in these cars right now. It's going to be a handful for sure.
Going to be a handful, definitely. I have to ask, first part of this year, the car was beautiful. The black, the silver, the gray. Saw that down there at the World Door Slammer Nationals. But y'all made a transition and came out with a very patriotic theme. United we stand. Made a great-looking car look that much better. How did that come about? What was the program about? And ultimately, was it successful and accomplished the goals y'all intended with such a patriotic scheme? Yeah, I mean, our thing, we need funding to be out there. And, we were at a point when I needed to put something together. And I knew we could make it to the U.S. Nationals in Indy. And after that, I said, we got to come up with some sort of idea. So we're driving home and I just started drumming up some thoughts and, threw it by my dad and, said, hey, let's do this, right now with what's going on in the country and, the election coming up and let's do something, positive. And, if we can get some, 10 people on board, to split the costs up in that, it would really, it'd be easier. Instead of asking someone for a large chunk of money, we could break it down into 10 different people. And, 10 people, I pitched the idea to my really good friend, Dean Harvey. And he was kind of the backbone behind the whole deal. And, the rest is history. It was an easy pitch to everybody when we started talking. And, can't thank everybody enough for joining in. And, without that program, we wouldn't have been able to finish the year. So. Well, y'all are able to finish the year. Looking into next year, what are some of the goals? Going to do another theme, maybe a New York flag car. I don't know how popular that would be, but, what are some of the thoughts going in the next year of, doing the fundraising? And I know it's got to be hard. I'm out there doing it myself. As I mentioned to you privately, yeah. I'm trying to help 2 top fuel teams. I don't know what I got myself into to find some sponsorships. I'm like, great move, Lee. So, what are some thoughts towards next year and what the car might look like and what programs you might have out there? Yeah, I'm not really too sure yet. Right now the car is stripped down. We're getting everything fresh. Trying to figure out, what direction we're going in. We really want to be out there next year. We're going to do everything we can to put some deals together and make sure we're out there, for our business, for our fans, for our customers. And like I said, right now, I don't know for sure. I really want to be out there. I mean, we might be out there, in a form of whether we're leasing our car out. I don't know how the details are going to work out yet, but one way or another, I really hope we're going to be out there. I definitely think y'all will figure a way out. It would be hard to imagine the field without Janis somewhere in it. Look, Ron Kozak says, what about Ricky going to a Pro Charger finally, going to the blower side? Yeah, what do you think about old Ricky Smith, Tricky, going with a Pro Charger and aligning himself with Elite? Some more tricky stuff from old Tricky himself. What do you think, man? I mean, he's nitrous, turbo, Pro Charger. I mean, just might as well pick them all, man. I mean, blower's next, so maybe he'll switch to a blower halfway through the year. Who knows? Never know what he's gonna do. But he's a good racer, one of the best of all time. So I'm sure he'll, with Richard Freeman and them guys, he'll have a good program going, and they'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Definitely, it is impressive to see how long Ricky's been out there and to stay relevant. no matter what he's been in, whether it's been Mountain Motor Pro Stock, 500 cubic inch Pro Stock, to Pro Mods, of all the different transitions that Pro Mod has been through over its existence, and he's been able to stay out there. I mean, Bo Butner was able to get in that car and second race in, get to the finals. I thought that was pretty impressive. Jonathan picking up a win too. So yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing, and
yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's been out there. I mean, he's doing the same thing as us. I mean, he's trying to make it happen. Luckily we have a business to fall back on. I mean, racing's that's his deal. That's his source of main income. So, he grinds like the rest of us, and just, whatever he has to do to be out there, he's made it happen for, over 40 years, just like my dad has. So, I'm confident we're gonna work some deals, and again, it's different than it used to be. It's not people signing checks anymore. It's a lot of it is B2B, business to business, and what can we do for the company in return. So, we had a lot of people have to look at that, but we've been very blessed to have some really awesome partners over the years, and this year. So we're just going to keep moving forward and seeing where we can end up.
Keep moving forward. So the nature of drag racing right now, I think it's got brighter days ahead, but I think we've got a dark spot we got to get through. Atlanta Dragway up for sale now. Chicagoland, what's going to happen there? What other venues can be brought on? Local tracks closing. So where do you see Pro Mod racing in the next 5 to 10 years, Mike? What are some of your predictions? Is it going to be in a better place? Is it going to still even be connected to the NHRA? Is it going to be more independent drag racing? What do you think the next 5, 10 years does it look like for Pro Mods?
I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I mean, I think it's the most popular class, in the world for drag racing. Whether it's here across the pond, all over, there's more Pro Mods. I say it all the time than any other cars in the world. I talked to Jeff Jones on the phone today, and same deal. He said there's no class that's better. So the big thing is, everybody's just got to work together. There's so many places to race right now. The NHRA, does a great job, but there's a lot of things that need to change. So we're trying to work with them, and change some of the stuff to make it more successful. And we have a great TV package in that, but there's a lot of things that at the end of the day, we're the customer, and they have to listen to the customer. They should listen to the customer, right? I mean, it's no different than if someone breaks a motor and wants answers from us. We're going to listen to the customer. Otherwise, we're not going to be the customer anymore. So it's no different in that case. We'd like to continue to be the customer. If they don't want to service the customer, they won't have any customers. So that's just how it's going to be. So that's all we can do with that deal. And like I said, there's a lot of other cool opportunities out there right now with PDRA, a lot of big outlaw races, Northeast Pro Mods. Everyone's kind of going to a conventional deal now with a screw blower at 92 over. So there's a lot of races you could run with that deal and cross over. So there's definitely a lot of options. Pro Mod's not going anyway anytime soon. NHRA, that's where everybody wants to be. But like I said, you got to listen to our customers. We are the customer. We want to be serviced. We're paying a lot of money to be there, and we want to be serviced and not be blown off about certain topics.
I do find it amazing, as you mentioned on the top of the show, that there was apparently not much communication at all about this new rule coming down the pipe. And it makes you wonder what may very well still be coming down the pipe, because we're not at the Gator Nationals yet. Other than the communication, other than the servicing that you mentioned, what is something that you would like to see in NHRA Pro Mod? What else needs to be there?
I mean, the communication factor is obviously reiterating number one. I mean, like I got phone calls the other day talking that they're going to add 50 pounds to the new body Camaros, right? So the big thing right now is, before we built this car that we have, I went over that with them. I said, listen, I don't want to build a new car. I want to build an old car because I believe it should be diversified. So in order to do that, there's no qualms about it. A new body car, a new Camaro is definitely faster than an old body car by at least 1.5 mile an hour out the back door. eighth mile, they're the same, but there's no question they're faster out the back door. And when you're running an NHRA Pro Mod, we're looking for every 100th we can. So you'd be absolutely stupid not to build a new style Camaro. So before we built this car, I said, make me build an old style car. Give the old style cars a 50-pound weight brake, and leave the new cars where they're at, just so so we don't have all Camaros out there. And the response that I got was, there's no data to support anything that I'm saying. So again, I have the better interest of the class, I feel, and not just for myself. Meeting with the guys. I mean, I was the one proposed to have a 959 cubic inch motor last year for a nitrous car. So it's for the betterment of the class, because if there's no class, I mean, our business suffers. So you can't be about yourself. You got to be for the betterment of the class. So communications, definitely key. And, like I said, we have a good TV program. Just getting us on the big stage more is I think important. And what people don't realize is, I mean, we are paying a lot of money in entry fees and things to be out there. And it's, I mean, at times we've been paying $1,500 entry fee at the last, this year. If you get 24 or less cars, $1,500, right? So, dude, 1,500 times 24 times 12 races. How much does that come out to? That's over $300,000 in just entry fees. That's no extra tickets. That's no nothing. So stuff like that has to be talked about. I mean, what class? How can you get 24 cars is a hard number to get, especially in a pandemic when people can't cross the border. So the common sense thing really got everybody mad this year, and there's just no reason for that.
Definitely, I agree. No reason. I really feel like the pro mods are being raked over the coals, as it were. They're being used as a class, and I feel like it's very similar for the Mountain Motor Pro stocks. I find it interesting that the Mountain Motor Pro stocks, why they even show up to the NHRA. And look, I love the NHRA. Don't get me wrong. They've got there's pros and cons, but why the Mountain Motor guys show up to NHRA, I don't understand. They snubbed them for decades, and now they just want to have them just in case the 500 guys don't make it. It's very strange.
And they pay half the entry fee that we pay. So figure that one out.
Yeah. Well, and then when they win, they get a little Wally. It's not a big Wally; it's a little Wally.
Again, this is not a bash the NHRA session on my part. It's we are a customer, right? We're a customer. We just want to be heard. We want to be serviced. That's it. We want them to make money. We don't want to be in the red zone. And it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science.
Right.
Customer that wants to be serviced, and they should make money. No doubt. They have to make money. But we have to make money too. We are the show. Without us, there is no show. With no Top Fuel, there is no show. With no Funny Car, there is no show. No Pro Stock, there is no show. I mean, it's kind of a trending deal, and I know Marcus Lemonis, hashtag Marcus Lemonis Camping World. If you're listening, I know you're a good guy, and I know you know how to make money. So have these guys listen to your customers a little better.
Customer service, it is what matters. And you're right, in drag racing and in any form of racing, the customer is not just the fan. And I really feel like what you as drivers, crew chiefs, team owners, what you all want aligns with what fans want. Because if you're able to show up to the track and race that much easier, I, as a fan, I get to see that much better of a show. Makes sense to me.
We're not talking. We're not asking for a motorhome or a new house or anything like that. We're talking for really simple things. You know what I mean? Really simple things. Let's just talk and get to the you can't have a meeting and the other side is the only one talking. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? It's there's a reason that we've been in business for 63 years. 63 customer service. That's where it's at.
Well, the NHRA and any other sanctioning body has definitely got to get that down and understand that. So over the last, I would say 5, maybe you could extend it to 10 years. Granted, Pro Mod has always been a wild class. It seems like the wildness factor of Pro Mod has went to the highest levels that it ever has. these door cars, when they're getting airborne, they're doing things in the air that I didn't know a door car could ever do, for example. I'm curious, from like your dad, other drivers, the water cooler talk, is there a sense that there does need to be something done in the class to make things safer, slower speeds, things of that nature?
I mean, I think we're kind of at the, I guess we would not call it the tapped out point. We don't really want these cars going any faster than 250, 255 in a quarter mile. So I think we're kind of at that point now where we're tapped out. I mean, you wouldn't want to be running a screw blower with a suspension going 530s at 270 miles an hour. It's not a good idea. So the safety factors, I mean, these chassis builders have done a great job. NHRA has done a great job with a lot of the safety rules. So I think the cars are very safe. They're constantly making their updates, for safety. So that's a main topic constantly. So I feel that the cars are very safe. I don't feel we should be going any faster than, kind of where we're at right now, being a fully suspended car like that, though.
All right, last
quarter mile.
Right, quarter mile. Last question I've got for you, Mike. So there's been some headlines made in Top Alcohol Funny Car of possibly allowing nitro injected into the class. Thoughts on nitro injected Pro Mod? Could we ever see that someday? What do you think?
I mean, again, it's one of those things. Pro Chargers came out of nowhere last year, so it was one of those deals. There was some talks about it. We kind of knew what was going to happen, and again, it's for the best interest of the class. If being politically correct, what they're capable of, right? So, and then you're being told, no, that's not possible. You have no data to back it up. So, I have no idea. I mean, anything's possible. You have no idea. I mean, they might let two engines per car, and you don't know. Just hopefully somebody tells us what's going on ahead of time so we can adjust accordingly.
Mike, look, thank you for being on Between the Slicks here live tonight, and I want to give you the floor just to say thank you to whoever you need to say thank you to, man.
I mean, first and foremost, thank you to you guys, fans out there. Without you, none of this would be possible. I'd like to thank everybody that participated in our United We Stand car. Dean Harvey and his company Access, Ross Johnston, Big Sky Motorsports, Boyd & Sons, IHC Armor Coatings. I'm trying to forget everybody here. Paul from CRC Powder Coating. Man, there's so many people that give us the opportunity to do what we do. Industrial Tire. It's just very, very blessed that people see the potential in our program, that we bring excitement. Been doing it a long time, and like I said, just looking forward to continue doing it over and over again.
All right, Mike, thank you for your time, man. Enjoyed it as always. Look forward to having you on again at another time, and drag Pops along too. Why don't you?
He's sleeping, man. He's sleeping. He's got to get some rest.
Mike, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas. Folks, Mike Janis Jr., crew chief for the Mike Janis Racing. Thank you for your time, Mike. Folks, coming on in just a moment, Nick Kellogg, along with a special guest. Who's Nick? Well, he's got a bad, fast Malibu, does the no-prep drag racing scene. He's got a long streak in 585 Race Wars, and he was recently at the Rockingham no prep event. Definitely want to talk about that. But before we bring him on, a word from Hero Soap Company. Why? They're veteran owned, all natural essential oil infused soap. And you out there, you're dirty and you need to get clean, and soap's going to help you. So here's a word. Hero Soap Company is a veteran-owned establishment that produces all-natural, essential oils-infused soap that is sold with a portion of the proceeds supporting other veteran groups. Hero Soap Company. Heroes supporting heroes. Be a hero yourself and buy a bar and let freedom clean. Nick Kellogg. How you doing tonight, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Oh, man, I am doing great, doing great. And tell us, who is the lovely guest we got with us tonight as well?
Well, I've got my fans with me, Alicia. She's the pit crew.
Hey, look, I'm glad to hear that finally it's fiance. It took a while, man. Come on.
Had to be sure.
Oh, there you go. I had to be sure. There you go. There you go. Well, look, I know I just played a video, but I want to show everybody who may not be familiar with a little bit about your car and what you've been doing. Because some of the no prep guys, they don't quite get the notoriety that someone in Top Fuel might. So I want them to be familiar as we go through the night. And I went into the archives, man. I had to dig deep in the MMR files to find it, but I found this footage. Let's take a look. All right, there it is, man. Look, and you've got that beautiful machine sitting there behind you. Fill us in what year, make, model, combination, all that you're willing to tell if you desire to tell.
Okay, yeah, it's a 78 Chevy Malibu wagon. It's got a 6.2 LS in it, 92 millimeter turbo, blow-through setup. It's got a CSU carb on it. We're running about 20 pounds of boost, and that's about it. Full interior, street car, all registered and insured. Just likes the no prep.
Likes the no prep. It's not a pro mod, right?
Rookie mod.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Very cool. That's what people are calling it these days. That's cool. Look, I showed some footage from 585 Race Wars, great event going on in Brockport, New York, put on by Wade. And, what is the streak up to now? Or has someone broken the streak in Street Beast? Does it still stand, or where is it at? Because you had like 5 in a row at one time. So where do we stand?
We're up to 10 now. So they kind of split up the classes a little bit. They got small tire and big tire now. We got runner up and big tire twice. Some of them cars are pretty quick. But yeah, it's basically the same deal. It gets bigger and bigger every year. They're talking about having some real big shows this year, a couple of $10,000 shows. Some people from all over are talking about coming, so that should be cool. It's just nice to have a safe spot to race and not have to worry about anything. Just like to see it get bigger and better.
Well, it is definitely doing that. I mean, I remember the first one to the last one that I was able to be there. It grew during that time, and it's pretty cool to hear, yes, some $10,000 races coming up in upstate New York there in Brockport. That is definitely going to be something to see, to behold, and you never know. Monday Morning Racer might get back up there to do some filming, maybe. You never know. You never know. So, Alicia, what is your role on race day?
I have to check the tires. I have to put gas in the car. I have to start the generator and get the laptop. I have to pour the puddle and back him into it, hold the car when we do the burnout, and then back him back up on his burnout spot without backing back into the puddle, and then telling him to kick butt so that way I can cheer really loud at the end of the race.
Yeah, you only need one person at the starting line. You don't need 15,
Right, yeah. We know what Tim McCamus thinks about the starting line. If you have not seen that video, folks, you need to go check that out. He tells you that you don't need that many people at the starting line, but you've got a good one at the starting line, and I can vouch for her. She's cheering you on the whole way. Look, Scott Beach says that, Alicia, you made a pass at the airport this year. Is that the case?
Yeah, he actually let me race his Corvette, and then we had a C10 that we actually sold, but Nick had that all souped up too, and he let me make a few passes in that. I actually did my first burnout in it, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
Race for sure,
Yeah, she might be licking you before long, man. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Hey, talk to me. You know, you're doing this no prep thing now, but from what I understand, this isn't like your first rodeo. So, where does the drag racing bug come from? How did you get involved in the first place, man?
Well, kind of always been into racing. I grew up dirt track racing with cage go-karts over at Lime Rock in Caledonia. Just kind of came from a racing family, and I don't know, just wanted to try out the drag racing deal, and I had better luck at the no prep stuff than an actual prep track. Kind of just been, you know, been doing it day by day, seeing where it goes, you know, making the car quicker and quicker. And kind of once you get bit by the racing bug, it don't matter as long as you're racing something, you know.
Definitely, definitely. As you know, as we were talking earlier about iRacing with Mike and even you before the show started, you know, I want to get back into doing something, and that's iRacing can kind of fill in that gap while I don't have my own car, because I did junior dragsters, I did karts, and I'm like, man, I want to do something back in the racing world with my hand on a wheel. And yeah, talk to me. You didn't make the show tonight, man. What happened? Was the tack dry, slick, or a little tacky? What was going on?
Flicked off quick. They did a new release. They got big block modifieds and 358 cars, and got our local track Weed Sport on there, and it definitely dry slicked off. And you know, there's a lot of big name people on there racing too, who, you know, race real cars on the weekends, and it's cool seeing names you watch on TV and get to race on them, you know, at your house. You know, so it's pretty cool and definitely worth checking out that iRacing deal.
I agree. I can't wait to get on and be in the same room as Ron Capps, because I just want to put him in the wall. I want to be like Russ Wheeler, Days of Thunder. If he comes near me, I'm just going to put him in the wall. So that's what I want to do. And then I can see him at the next NHRA event, and he'd be mad at me. I just, you know, I can't. I live for those things. I want that to happen. Definitely. Well, look, 585 Race War, it chimed in and said they have quite the team, always doing their homework. And I just want to say, I'm a little upset. The 585 Race War guys, y'all go down to North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, and nobody told me. Nobody calls me and says, hey, we're doing this. Can you show up? I mean, what's up with that? Yeah, Talk to me about Rockingham, man.
Well, they definitely know how to do it in North Carolina, that's for sure. Definitely wild. There were 121 small tire cars, 32 grand to win. A weird surface, similar to the airport that we race on, so that's kind of why we wanted to go. We figured we had half a chance, you know. Definitely got to go if you've never been. Dig or die. We got another one coming up in March, so we're gonna go back down and give it a shot. Didn't quite go as planned when we went, but I ended up jumping, tire crack, so. Long drive for a jump, but hey, what can you do? You know, it's part of racing. We'll come back. Definitely gonna wait for the light this time.
So, from what I understood, there was a little bit of controversy of whether or not you did actually jump. So, you know, was it clear evidence that you did, or there's still a little bit up in the air, like, nah?
Well, once everybody reviewed the tape, they kind of slow motioned it, and yeah, the tire cracked before the light came on, so you know, there's really no arguing it. The final call was made, and like I say, we'll just go back. You know, we're not sore losers or nothing like that. So it was an awesome experience. We met a lot of cool people down there. Learned a lot. In the pass that we did make, the car lifted the wheels and made a good hit. So we'll go back down and try again. You know.
Is that the farthest that both of y'all have been down? Yeah. Is that the farthest both of y'all have traveled together and with the car? Is that like the biggest trip so far?
Yeah, 10 for us. So it made us realize it's a lot nicer down there.
Yeah, we picked the wrong state to live in.
Hey, I can tell you, North Carolina is not that bad of a state. I'm, you know, originally a South Carolinian. South Carolina's a little bit better. I just got to say. But yeah, North Carolina has got its perks, definitely. And the racing scene down here is definitely vibrant, and hardcore drag racing, hardcore on the asphalt, late models and street stock. But yeah, racing is very rich down here, very rich. And look, y'all can buy a house pretty cheap. Just saying.
Yeah. So, we just bought this house up here, but we wouldn't mind coming down south. But when we were trying to load up to go down there, we had 3 inches of snow and trying to load the car with slicks on, and we were ready to get out of here.
That is the fascinating thing about being here in North Carolina. You go much further, Florida, southern Georgia, racing never really stops. It is all year round. I mean, Bradenton, Florida, Orlando, Valdosta, I mean, it just continually happens. And I think it really works out great for the no prep scene because you theoretically can race at a lower temperature because you don't have the track prep involved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There was a couple people racing down there. There was 30 degrees outside the one night, and yeah, it's like you say, it's definitely race country down there, and it's the place to be for racing for sure.
Now, on no prep and the flashlight start or even arm drop start, I've got to ask this, man. There seems to rise controversy whether someone did jump or a tire being cracked. And you've done other forms of racing. You've done other forms of drag racing. Do you feel like there's a bit of a trying to reinvent the wheel instead of having a simple light system where just, one flash, you go, and if you went before the flash, boom, red light, you're disqualified? I mean, what's the allure to that flashlight start?
Well, I think the flashlight start kind of keeps everybody honest, because they do have the film, and I learned that real quick. You ain't cheating and jumping a start at all, because they will go back and check it out. The arm drop deal, that's kind of more like, what JJ does, it chases the race deal, They have cameras and stuff up at the airport for the arm drop deal. Like you say, though, it's a little harder to catch a jump than it is a light.
So, all right, you're doing the no prep scene. That car has transitioned from the time I saw it to where it is now. Where has it come from, and what are the plans that you've got ahead of it? I can't imagine you're going to keep it the same. Imagine when you go back down there in March, you've done something. So yeah. What's the plan, man?
Well, that's the deal. Like you say, those guys race all year down there. Every weekend they're racing, so we got to be careful of too many changes we make up here because we got to wait till we get down there to make sure everything's cool. I know it works like it is. So our plan is the next couple of days here, we're going to pluck the motor back out and at least freshen it up, some rings and bearings, and make sure it's all mechanically good. But like I said, I hate to change too much. Might change ignition boxes, maybe so I can do a little more boost out the back, get a little better boost controller. Maybe try to get up around 30 pounds or so. Other than that, the car works so well, I'm afraid to touch it,
That's not a bad place to be, that it's working so well you're afraid to touch it. That's not a bad place at all. So, Alicia, look, since y'all have been together, you've been, helping out with burnouts, been a crew member, what has been a moment where you're like, oh no, and you almost thought Nick just about took it, if you know what I mean? Or has that moment even arisen?
This last summer at the last 585, I think it was Cash Days, we had changed the front shocks on the car and did some things, and he pulled the wheels up pretty high. He actually scraped the bumper, and I just remember being like, holy, because it looked like the car was going to tip right over, but he ended up riding it out pretty far. He brought it down, and then it bounced back up, and then he brought it down, and then he bounced back up. But he actually still beat the guy, so that was pretty cool. Sorry, Alex. Sorry that you lost twice now to the wagon. It's all okay. But yeah, that was probably the scariest. I get scared every time just because I'm confident that Nick knows how to drive and that he's going to keep it straight, because I've really only seen the wagon get a little sideways or dance a little bit a few times. I just get nervous that the guy that he's racing is going to smack into him. That probably gives me the most anxiety. But overall, it's more of an adrenaline rush. I'm just excited. He usually wins. I usually screaming and jumping around like a lunatic. It's all good.
Definitely, definitely. It is all good. Though I have seen you when he's lost. You're not the happiest camper. If the demeanor changes, folks, it's gone from this happy-go-lucky girl to like, oh, I ain't talking to her. Oh, boy.
I got right home with it too. So
Right, you got to ride home with it. Hey, speaking of incidences, the 585 Race Wars this year, at some point at one of the races, actually had one of the first incidents. Didn't like Josh take out a barrel or something this year?
yeah, kind of did a 360 and saved it, and kind of just caught it with the deck lid wing, Yeah, he did loop it around, but he saved it and got it back to the pit. So
Yeah, he ended up looping it and driving right back to the pits, like to his parking spot, like he did it on purpose.
That was all part of the show, folks. All part of the show.
Nothing major, so everybody kind of knows that it gets a little out of hand and let off. It's not really worth wrecking anything or wrecking someone else's car there. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's what it's for. It's all for fun.
Yes, yes. Well, I know one day I've got to get Wade on here and we can talk 585 Race Wars in depth. Has there been any work on the bump that's out there? I know there's a pretty nasty bump.
Lots of talk about taking that thing out. They're trying to get bunch of bleachers there. Doing a lot of stuff over there. It's just hard to do right now with the weather, but come springtime, it's going to be full steam ahead of doing stuff that we knew needed to be done over there, like you say, the bump. And
Don't let him fool you. He likes going airborne when he hits it.
Like let's take it down, but not take it out. Just let me have a little bit there left. Yeah, right. So, what you've went beyond New York State, traveled to North Carolina to race at the Rock, and experienced that. So what else is on the radar? Are you eyeing other events now? Are you like, we need to make this Malibu well known up and down the eastern seaboard and possibly elsewhere?
No, that's the plan. Like I say, once we went down there, we realized that we got to go down there to get to the big shows, and everybody from all over the place comes to those deals, and we're definitely going back in March. Like you say, there's so many down there. It's just getting off of work and getting down there. But that's the plan, to go to as many as we can next summer.
All right, very cool. Hey, David Hillner saying he might check out 585 Race Wars coming 2021. An excellent photographer. Y'all check out his photography on David Hillner Photography. 585 Race Wars, they chime in and say, we'll be getting this 8th mile fixed. You can count on it. So from the team itself, they're going to be getting it done. Well, guys, look, going to be wrapping up here in just a few moments. I've got to say, first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. What do y'all plan on doing to celebrate for this time of the year?
Well, got a couple parties to go to, obviously, and
we also live in New York, though, so we're not allowed to celebrate Christmas because our governor kind of has made some silly rules.
Yeah, so as much as we're allowed to do, a couple people at a time, I guess, and not too much. Like you said, we're gonna start ripping the car apart, and hopefully Santa brings some good parts and ignition boxes and turbos and stuff like that.
Very cool, very cool. Are they limiting how many people can be in wagons up there in New York?
Not yet.
Not yet. So just have a party in your wagon and do Christmas burnouts.
There you go. It's not bad.
Well, guys, look, I want to give the last little bit of time for y'all, anybody you want to say thank you to allow you to get as far as you've got and to win the races you've been able to win.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing us on here. That's really cool. I'd like to thank, Alicia, of course, my father, Melissa, Matt and Mike Gunther. They help out a lot with tuning and everything. Wade for putting on Race Wars.
My mom and dad for watching our pets when we leave.
Yeah, we got babysitters for the dogs, and just everybody who helps out. You guys know who you are, and really appreciate it. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, So just thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
And we also want to give just a shout out to the racing family down in Alabama. There was a bad car accident at the beginning of the last weekend. A fellow racer was injured pretty bad. He's still in the hospital, and they're doing a big race this weekend A lot of the proceeds from selling skinnies, the street sauce, and then the stripper glitter traction compound is all going to them. And 50% of the pot's actually going to them. So that's pretty cool that the racing family came together to do that for them.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And I hope a lot is raised and that young man is helped out. Nick, man, you've come a long way. I remember the first time I interviewed you, you're like, I can't do it. And now here you're on a live show. You're coming along, man. You're coming along.
Cool. Well, hopefully there's more. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to have you on, the winner of 32 grand. That definitely needs to happen. Definitely needs to happen. Well, Nick, Alicia, thank you for being on Monday Morning Racers Between the Slicks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, Nick and Alicia, 585 Race Wars, Bad Fast Malibu, doing a whole lot and planning on doing more. Well, look, we're near the end of the show. I do want to say next week, Wednesday night, that is the plan. Wednesday night, 8 p.m., Christmas Eve, you could say. We're going to have a Christmas special. I'm still trying to find out all my guests, but I can tell you this, and it's worth coming just for her. Amanda Busick will be co-hosting with yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer. Folks, until next time, I'm the Monday Morning Racer. This has been Between the Slicks. God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.